Hi, everyone. Welcome to The Walk. During this series, I hope by now you truly understand that all of us have a purpose. We've learned that no one's life is an accident because God doesn't make mistakes. We've learned that as we grow to be more and more like Jesus, our purpose is slowly being revealed through our service to others. When you know you have purpose, something changes inside, and it ultimately changes the way you live. When you begin to internalize this, everything about your life changes. So now what? Listen to what Paul says in Ephesians 1:11. In him we were also chosen, having been predestined according to the plan of him who works out everything in conformity of the purpose of his will. Paul is saying that finding your purpose is not the end. In fact, it's only the beginning. Knowing that you have been chosen by God. You see, God will work everything out for his purpose. From my own experience, I knew when I was off track from God's purpose, when I would try to steer in another direction. It was like pushing a rope. It didn't feel right. My insecurities would surface and I would become angry. It was during these times I felt alone, and God was absent. There was only one set of footprints in the sand, until I realized he was carrying me. God doesn't create us and then leave us. Think of your life this way. What's the first thing you do when you're putting together a puzzle? You turn over all the pieces so you can see the different colors and shapes. It would be very difficult to put a puzzle together using only the blank sides. It's only when you can see a piece of the picture, even if it's just a small part of it, that changes the way you put it together. Each piece perfectly fits to make a whole picture. And when you see the whole picture, the top of the puzzle box, you have a guide that helps you put it together. Putting the puzzle together just got a little less confusing. You know you have a plan to work towards and a guide that helps you. That's how it is when you are seeking God's purpose for your life. He has the whole picture before you. You just need to turn over the pieces and begin to put it together. And the best part is you're not alone. He guides you every piece you put into place if you open your heart to him. One of the first things knowing your purpose changes is your identity, because you know why you were created. Currently, I'm in a book study for the second time called Soul Keeping. This is my favorite book. A few years ago, I was going through a very difficult time. I was struggling with my identity and who God created me to be. Although I had been working in children and youth ministries for over 35 years, on the outside I looked like I was all put together, but on the inside I was falling apart. I felt like I was only going through the motions. I felt like the blank side of a puzzle piece. I didn't feel like I was living with purpose, God's purpose, until I read something in that book that pierced my soul and changed my life. Dallas Willard wrote, "You are not a self, you are a soul made by God, made for God, and made to need God. You see, you are a living and breathing soul, created by God, but most importantly, created for the sole purpose of living out God's plan for your life. Your identity is found in God. That changes everything, because you don't have to worry about the future if you let God into your heart and open yourself up to his wisdom and guidance. You will reflect God's plan for your life." As I was searching for my purpose, one of my favorite verses that I memorized was, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." And that's in Jeremiah 29:11. There are so many things in this world that will beg for your attention, and people who will attempt to tell you who you are, and you'll worry about things that will waste your time, like not being popular, not being smart or athletic, or worry about the way you look or how you dress. I know at your age this is hard to understand, but your time on earth is brief. It goes by fast. What will your dash say about you? You know, that line between your birth and your death. I posted a video on this page called What Will You Say? It's by a rapper named Clayton Jennings. He tells a story about living his life on purpose, allowing God to work through him from the time he was 10 years old. And despite what the world was telling him, he went on to seek his purpose through God and what God wanted him to do for his life. I felt the same way, and I hope I can save you time to understand it's not what you do in life, it's who you become in the doing. Let's face it, life can be hard at times. Bad things happen, but Jesus didn't come to make life better. He came to make you better at life. In 1 Peter 4:10 it says, "Each of you should use whatever gift he has received to serve others faithfully, living out God's grace. And above all, love each other deeply, because love covers a multitude of sins." When you know you can serve God by serving others, you begin to want to serve others. You change from the inside out, and your actions begin to move from selfish to selfless, unlike our culture today. At the end of the day, it all comes down to love. Once you realize that your purpose is to become a loving servant of God, your actions change, and so does your life. So live your life with purpose. Love and miss you all.